Hey, happy Friday, September the 4th, 2020. Thank God this year's almost over, although I'm not sure 2021 is going to be much of a joyride for what we're getting set up for with this year so far. 2020's hindsight, does that mean we're going to keep looking back at every bad thing that's ever happened and try to relive it? That sure seems to be the way things are going. At any rate, we got another story that come out about a man named Daniel Brood who ended up dying after being obtained by police. Police were called because he fled his brother's house on PCP and was being erratic. Apparently smashed a window somewhere. Cops were called. He was hot, really hot. He was taking all of his clothes off. Sometimes certain drugs, they increase your heart rate, so you get really hot, and he was stripping down because of that. I've seen incidents where that happens with other drugs that do the same thing to people. They're overheating and they're depending on the drug they're on. He was on PCP, which can cause hallucinations. So, the state that he was in was just completely crazy. He gets arrested. He actually went through the arrest pretty good. He sits down when he's told to, and they put the handcuffs on him, and things are going actually pretty good. And he starts yelling about taking their guns, which doesn't matter at this point. He's handcuffed on the ground. I mean, he's just in delirium. Unfortunately, he's yelling and screaming, carrying on, and then he starts spitting though, and he's spitting at the cops, and he's telling them that he has COVID. So they put this face mask on him, a COVID mask they call it, so that if someone's spitting and being erratic and trying to infect officers, they can cover him up. So that's what they do to this guy, and then he starts fighting a little bit. So they hold him down until the ambulance comes. And I believe they actually even start giving him resuscitation before the ambulance gets there. The ambulance takes over. They keep him alive in the hospital, but he's in the hospital in a coma for a period of time, and then he succumbs to the coma. They pull life support on him. It's just too long. So now the medical coroner stated, where does she put that? She ruled it a homicide on account of complications caused from asphyxia and physical restraint, as well as PCP intoxication. So this is probably going to be labeled as the contributing factor, because had the drug not been used, he might not have died. Probably wouldn't have died, quite honestly, and we're going to talk about why that is too. There's something that people need to be aware of that happens with people who are on certain types of drugs that highly increases their odds for death, like highly. So at any rate, it's the same old story. His family wants all the cops to be fired, sued. There was, of course, protests for him immediately. Like I say, it's kind of a wash, rinse, repeat cycle at this point, really. I don't think the cops meant to kill him. They did try to resuscitate him even. Now, they were laughing at points, I don't know. Maybe that's not appropriate, but he was saying some pretty funny things. Sometimes it's hard not to laugh. I'm not going to maybe defend them too much on that, but I don't see the utility in attacking them over that either. So, at any rate, so more stuff coming out of that. But anyway, excited delirium. So this is what I want to talk about in regard to the PCP. Excited delirium is known as agitated delirium, is a controversial syndrome described as a combination of psychomotor agitation, delirium, and sweating. But if we get into it, I don't know why it's so controversial. It seems to me to make sense. Come on. At any rate, when you're on certain drugs, here we go. Yeah, so excited delirium occurs most commonly in males with a history of serious mental illness or acute or chronic drug abuse, particularly stimulant drugs such as cocaine and MDPV. However, besides that, people with excited delirium commonly have acute drug intoxication, generally involving PCP, which is what this guy was on. Methyl dioxypyrovalerone, whatever that is, cocaine, methamphetamine. Other drugs that may contribute to death are antipsychotics. So methamphetamine, again, that's what George Floyd had cranked up in his system. And he was also older and under a lot of drug abuse, and had the deterioration of the arteries, heart problems, and sickle cell syndrome, which is something more commonly found in black men, where their oxygen doesn't get uptook as well because their red cells aren't complete or something like that. So at any rate, all of that, of course, caused more violence and back and forth. Like I say, wash, rinse, repeat. They stand on the streets to protest. Somebody gets pissed off, quote unquote Trump supporter in the news, and they go and they drive through them. And this is the same night that this hit the news or whatever. So here we go. Get run over. Full video shows the people actually getting run over. This is them driving over the rest of the way away after some people had already been hit. So wash, rinse, repeat on that. I thought this was kind of interesting. This is Juliet Germana, I think her last name is. I can't remember exactly. But anyway, she was a transvestite, male to female, or transsexual, I guess, that was painting all over the Black Lives Matter with big buckets of paint that she bought from a hardware store. And she kind of got some notoriety for that. So this is kind of funny. They took a rather unglorifying picture of her here and they put it on the front of the Daily Mail just to confirm. There she is again, Juliet Germana. And there's her offset tooth. Kind of funny. Anyway. And of course now we have another one where Dion K was killed because he was reported to be brandishing a firearm. Cops show up. It involves a lengthy chase. Eventually they get him cornered and he charges one of the cops with a firearm. Of course he gets shot for it, but it's weird because he actually throws the pistol into the grass. So I almost think that in the video you can see it looks like he's maybe actually chucking it. It's hard to say, but so they found the gun 100 feet away, but I mean, he's running at you with a gun. What are you going to do? He gets shot. If I was a cop, I would have shot him too. I'm not getting shot for you. Why would I? I'm not here to die for you. That's not the point. It's like being in the military and going to war. The job isn't to die for the enemy. I'm not saying this guy's the enemy, but at the same time, he's definitely not a friend. If he's running around with guns, I have no problem with that. So, of course, it doesn't matter. He's also a known gang member. Had multiple run-ins with the police. It doesn't matter that he was in the wrong. All of his people are rallying behind him. And in fact, they even, as a tribute to him, posted footage of him with his illegal guns online. So that's the mentality of the people that you're dealing with this. And not everybody. I mean, there's a lot of people who are just protesting. For sure there is. I think there's more rational, calm people than there are people that are unhinged. But the people that are unhinged are like completely gone, man. Like, it's crazy the amount of things that the States is dealing with right now. And there's so many things, in my opinion, to blame. Popular culture in the 1990s really brought this whole being a gangster is cool thing out. I think that gangster rap should be banned. I know that's kind of authoritarian to say, but I mean, if white power music is banned, I say black power music is banned. In fact, I think that they even call for solidarity with black power over this issue. And it's like, well, why is that okay? That's not cool, right? So anyway, it's more wash, rinse, repeat. You just add more people to the case. It inflames both sides. And, I say, I don't even know where it's going to end. I think that depending on how police resources are being spread out as this builds, they might end up calling private contractors in to come help, depending on how many people they end up having to actually deal with this, depending on how it escalates. We'll see what things look like in about 2 months after the election. So at any rate, there's some more bullshit news going on just to keep the people inflamed. So, so anyway, that's that. I got a couple more reports for you coming at you today. I tried putting one up the other day. I tried posting the footage of the shooting I was talking about, where this is why people who resist arrest through being tased get arrested, and it was actually taken down. I'm disputing it with Facebook right now, so we'll see how that goes. If I don't win, I'll find another way to try to get it up. So, all right. Thanks a lot. Peace.